So let's welcome Penn Badgley and Tilly Keeper to the show. Welcome both. OK, Penn, we need to catch everyone up a bit who hasn't seen it. So the show is huge. There's quite a lot going on. It's a thriller, but it's funny too. And you played Joe, who's a dashing but deadly serial killer. Now, this season, season 4, is somewhat of a reset. So where do we pick up the story exactly?
Well, I'm going to have to refresh my memory as well. He's in London, fleeing the carnage he left behind, literally a flaming house with his, this is a bit of a family show. I can't really talk about all the plot details so much, but
there's a lot of carnage.
The body count is it's up there.
It's high.
He's here playing a professor. He's trying to change his ways.
Of course he is.
And then by the end of part 1, which I won't spoil for you if you haven't seen it, but by the end of part 1, he is discovering who is hunting him.
Right. OK. So, Tilly, now then, you're new, season 4.
Yes.
How does your character fit in to this story?
So, Lady Phoebe is a socialite. She's a lady of London. And kind of by chance, Joe meets her on a night out and she is quite charmed by him, unfortunately. And she decides that he's her new best friend.
Bad choice.
Bad choice. She's not a great judge of character at all. So she decides that he's her new best friend. And unfortunately, she kind of gets tangled up in all the killings and drama that follows him as well.
Gets drawn into the web.
Yes.
Penn, this season is a little bit different, isn't it, from the ones that we've seen before? It's more of a whodunit this time round.
It is. I mean, it's firmly in the whodunit genre for at least the first part. That's the thing, is that part 2, which we cannot spoil, but part 2 really brings it home to what the show does best. But yeah, for the first 5 episodes, it really is Joe trying to figure out who is this killer on the loose, killing all of her friends.
All of your friends.
Yeah.
Now, for people who haven't seen it, it's quite interesting to try and explain, because a lot of your script, Penn, is Joe, your character's thoughts, isn't it? And that's what brings the humour in many ways as well. And there's quite an interesting way in which you film it, because you sort of record his thoughts first, don't you?
We do, yeah. Well, I do. I mean, it's amazing how much autonomy they've given me there. I mean, it's like I just kind of go.
Because they're scared of you.
Yeah. Well, they've created a monster then, and it's on them. Yeah, so I just go into a box, a vocal booth, and I record, sometimes 2 or 3 episodes at a time. And I give them a bunch of different levels, so I'm never sure what they're going to use, although it tends to be pretty consistent. I always try to play with the humor as much as I can. I don't think about how I'm going to act in it, and then when I shoot the episode as an actor, I don't really concern myself with what I've done there, and it always just it always merges well.
And as you mentioned, it's here in the UK. Penn, how did you settle into life over here?
I really, truly love it here. I'm not pandering to the crowd or anything. I truly love London. My wife is British. And it
Good
just felt,
start.
Yeah, right. And in fact, I stayed with my aunt-in-law much of the time I was here. Shout out to Gabby. Hey, Gabby.
Shout out to
Hi,
Gabby.
Gabby.
I do love it here, and I got to do what a lot of Americans don't get to do, which is I didn't do anything touristy, and I just lived and worked here. And that's I think when you get to cherish a place.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for you, Tilly, you were a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you're in it.
I know.
But wasn't it your dad who helped you during the audition?
Yes, my lovely dad, who'll be so thrilled I'm talking about him right now. So he helps me out with a lot of my self-tapes, because the kind of nature of auditioning at the moment is a lot of it happens from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
So my dad was reading all of Penn's lines in the audition.
How was he?
I think you might want to get in touch with some tips if you go for the next season.
Thanks.
He's got some notes for you. Yeah, he's a cockney as well, so the lines didn't quite read in the same American charm that Penn has.
Fine, good.
And speaking of the East End, you started out in EastEnders playing Phil Mitchell's daughter, Louise.
Yes.
Penn, we did hear that you can do a bit of a cockney accent, though. Is that just a rumour?
Oh, come on, Penn, we need to hear this.
It really is polarizing. Some people find it charming, which is to say, maybe just me, and then others really hate it. But it's a bit up here. It's like this.
It's like an ode to Joe Pasquale.
Sorry, it took me a second to know you were doing it. Go on.
What do you mean?
Wow, yeah.
You can't tell.
It's quite high.
It's like Joe Pasquale, really, isn't it? Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. Truly, I'm deflecting from trying to do a real accent, because I could do it if I committed in a role, but it's like I'd say,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to offend anybody.
I mean, you're not being paid for it today, so why?
Exactly. I'm not going to do it for free.
You nailed it. You nailed it. Yours is pretty good.
Thank you very much.
I can only do Welsh.